Hey friends, Kevin here, and we're going to answer the question, do I need solar panels on my minivan or small camper van? So let's get to it. No doubt solar is nice, but the question is the cost of solar going to benefit you enough based on the way that you camp, especially if you're in a minivan, a small camper van, something like that? A lot of it is going to be determined by the way that you in particular camp. If you're the type of person that's going from campground to campground, state park to state park, and you have electrical hookups every night, then no, you really don't. If you're only occasionally going to be somewhere that you don't have a full hookup, then no, you really don't. You're going to be fine just with what came with your vehicle. If you have to run a CPAP machine or you're trying to run a small refrigerator, then you're going to need something. But even then, a battery pack, if it's just an occasional night, one of those little battery packs will be more than enough to run that item for you. And you're driving down the road the next day, it's plugged into 12 volt, that battery pack is going to recharge while you're driving. So you really don't need to go through all of the hassle and expense of adding solar to a small vehicle. Now, the big mistake everybody makes when they start thinking about solar is thinking that throwing one solar panel up on the roof and having a battery is going to power everything. And the reality is it's really not. You're not going to run air conditioners off these things without having 1,000 watts of solar and 800 amp hours of batteries. That, you know, it's going to be $10,000 to do that. So you can put that ideal out of your head. You can rent a small compressor fridge or a CPAP machine, or you can power just a basic little fan that will run all night long. But again, you can do those things off of just a standard battery pack like the one I showed you that I carry anyway. So you really don't have to get into the expense and hassle of solar. It never hurts to have it, but it certainly is not a requirement. While I do have solar with my big van, I have yet to put solar on the minivan. And that was taking the minivan on month-long and longer trips, even after I put solar on the big van. Because realistically, being out for 30 days and having to deal with ice a couple of bucks a day compared to the cost of solar and batteries and all that hassle, it just wasn't worth it. If you're not going to be on the road full time or pretty close to it, it's not going to be worth it. The other thing you're going to have to think about is how much space a battery takes up, because you're dealing with something now the size of a car battery, even though you may go with a marine grade battery or 2 golf carts batteries, but the size of a really good sized car battery. And you're going to have to vent it outside or under your vehicle because of the gases these things put off. That's a whole separate thing, not a big deal, but you've got to have it in a closed box, and you've got to poke a hole in the side of your vehicle, someplace to let the air out. But by the time you do that battery and that battery box inside of a little van or camper van, you don't have a lot of space to begin with, and you're taking up even more space with that. So my recommendation, especially people that are starting out, is just to get out there and start enjoying yourself and figure out what you need and what you don't need and get your feet wet, and basically, again, the enjoyment part and the adventure part. You can always come back to this stuff later if you decide to, but the mistake I see a lot of people make is thinking they have to have every single thing perfect and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment before they can go out for their first night or their first weekend. It doesn't work that way. And trust me on this, because I have been back and forth across the country in this vehicle several times. You can get by without solar just fine. But I'd like to hear your opinions. Get your comments down in the comment section. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? If you're already on the road in a minivan or a little camper van, do you yourself have solar? Is it something you're thinking about doing regardless? Let's get a little bit of a discussion started Of course, we'll get back to some other van and travel videos soon. Wondering what to watch next? Click down in the description. You'll see links to all the recent videos that we've done here. We'll talk soon.